so Trump's been struggling. And they've been struggling to try and attack Harris, and they've done the racism thing, they've done the sexism thing. We've covered it. We'll continue to cover it going forward. But Republicans are pissed because it's not working, it's not clicking, and so now you have a lot of Republicans trying to hedge their bets, because what happens when what looks like now Trump loses? What's a post-Trump Republican Party going to look like? And everybody's trying to vie for power here because everybody wants to be the next flag bearer. And so let's start with number one, Nikki Haley. What's Nikki Haley's? How is she going to weasel her way around this? Because she can't piss off the Trump base, and she doesn't want to piss off Trump yet, but she wants to try and hedge her bet going forward. So what is she going to do? Here she is talking about it.
Saying in a Fox News interview that she thinks what they want is someone who's going to care about them. They want someone who's focused. She went on to say, this is a winnable election, but you need to focus. Who is your target market? Your target market is suburban women, college-educated independents, and conservative Democrats. CBS News campaign reporter Olivia Rinaldi joins me now.
So, she's right, but they're not going to get suburban women.
I was going to say, I don't think she's wrong in her, pitch of this is who you need to be focusing on.
Yeah, but he's not going to get those. That's part of what she's doing, though. She's trying to point out, these are the people that we need, and these are the people that none of them are going to vote for Trump. Because he's antithetical to everything.
God, no.
Yeah. Because these
these
aren't your racist, non-college educated whites. That's his bread and butter. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I mean, those are demographics that are all super offended by him, and entirely too aware of his situations to probably be likely to be easily hooked.
Yeah. So she's kind of doing a backhand here, where, and I want to remind everybody, I don't know that I would, political advice from her is kind of funny, because you're talking to a person who got stomped by Trump in the primary, and then she got, 20-25% of the vote. Even after she dropped out, she was still getting that. So she had this group of voters that kind of liked her, but they were mostly voting against Trump. And then what did she do to that constituency that was kind of with her? She turned around and endorsed Trump and shit all over them. So she lost all that. So she doesn't have a constituency anymore to speak of. She doesn't have anybody to back her. So she's trying to do this now where, well, see, I warned Trump and da-da-da-da. So she's trying to maneuver herself into a position to run for 2028 where she could say, well, I wasn't in it for Trump. Because, see, I did criticize this and that. So she's trying to maneuver herself in there, right? She's also made the joke about, and a lot of them done, well, he needs to focus on policy. Yeah, right. After Trump says brown people are coming from across the border illegally to, rape your daughters, that's it. That's his whole policy issue. He's done. He has nothing else on policy. I mean, he doesn't have a position on a lot of shit. He outsources it. But speaking of another loser in the Republican Party trying to give advice because they want to position themselves to be in power, post-Trump sort of world, right? Kevin McCarthy. And here's Kevin McCarthy on Fox News, and here's him trying to give advice to explain how this is going to work.
Most liberal, so they know those policies can't work. And if this election comes down to economy, border, and crime, her past history, she will fail at that. So she's trying to flip around the other way, have a shorter campaign, and let's be honest, Biden won the presidency by really staying in the basement. Use that same type of strategy, even though you don't have COVID, to their advantage.
We're seeing flip-flopping. Let's contrast her on the border from 2019 to Saturday. Let's play it.
So here's what he's doing. Fox is feeding in. And it's kind of interesting to see this with Republicans because they jump around so much. Because they have to show loyalty and fealty all the time. But then they also want to get their agenda through. So everything has to be like a sidestep for them, right? Everything's kind of have to be a little cha-cha to get around the situation. So here's the guy that was speaker for less than a year after he lost 15 votes, the first person in history to ever lose 15 votes. The second guy in history to ever lose 1 vote for a speakership. Was speaker for like 9 months, then got ousted by his own party from the speakership. And then quit Congress because he was so humiliated. And now he's trying to position himself for the future. But he's also trying to position him because he's buddies. He's the guy that said he wasn't going to suck up to Trump and then ran down to Mar-a-Lago the next day to kiss Trump's ass. So he's got 2 things going on right now. One is, if Trump wins, Kevin McCarthy is definitely going to have a job in Trump's cabinet. He knows it. Because he's sucked up to him for long enough. But 2, it's starting to look now like Trump's not going to win. So he's got to hedge his bet, right?
It is a tricky position for the Republicans that are trying to position themselves for the future.
Right.
I mean, if this is a game of chess, they're in a tricky spot because if they actually, see Trump win, which doesn't look so likely right now, but if that happened, they want to be well positioned for that outcome.
Right.
But if it all goes sideways, they want to be able to take over for the future going forward.
Yeah.
In a post-Trump era. And it's a little tricky to manage to do both of those things at the same time.
This is less of a chess thing, and it's more like trying to get on the cheerleading squad, right? In high school. If Donna Trump here is going to be the next cheerleading captain, I definitely want to be on her good side so I can be on the team, right? But now that it's looking like, Kamala Harris might be the team captain, well, I can't it seemed like I was totally aligned with Donna the whole time. Donna is Donald Trump in this scenario. I gotta seem like I'm also...
Yes.
So I have to, but I can't side with Kamala because then I'd lose my in with Donald. And so, what do? I lightly criticize Donna here a little bit, set the groundwork. And then when they lose, I said, look, I told them and they didn't listen, but I'm a reasonable person and I wasn't ever against you necessarily, Kamala, but that's what, they're just trying to maneuver himself in that way. Only he's not trying to get him with Kamala, he's trying to get him with the rest of the Republicans. But he's got to keep Trump's base. And he wants to keep that job offering in the White House open. But at the same time, since it looks like none of that's going to happen, he's got to start laying the groundwork for, I warned them, I told them, and this is the new direction we should be going, and I'm the guy to be leading you. That's what they're trying to, both of them are trying to do the same thing. They're both trying to lay the groundwork for, I want to be the next standard bearer for the Republican Party in a post-Trump era. But what's that going to look like? Because they're going to lose a lot of Trump supporters are going to be so disenchanted after he loses. They're not going to have, and they're already a minority party. So it's going to be tough for them to do anything. Plus, I mean, all the policies that they have, and part of the reason Trump's been so successful is he has no real policies. Nothing he's open about. He lets Heritage Foundation and every other conservative do it. That's why they love him, is he's a puppet. They get everything
Right.
they want because he doesn't care. As long as he's making money off the presidency, as long as he's getting famous and, he gets all the attention, he doesn't give a shit. As long as you give him power, he doesn't care. And so the thing about it is, when you get to actual policy, Nikki Haley has horrible policies when you actually look at... Nikki Haley is pro-life. She's against abortion rights. If she were president, she'd sign a national abortion ban tomorrow. She cut Medicare. She cut Social Security. She cut food stamps. She would institute more and more tax breaks for the rich and raise taxes on everybody making less than $400,000 a year. She'd do that instantly.
Yeah, she would be such a dangerous, dangerous person to get in there, man.
Yeah, we'd be in a war with Iran. So I mean, don't confuse yourself with these people. But that's what they're doing right now. It's just a game to try and lay the groundwork for, I want to maintain my position in a post-Trump era, which is what it looks like it's going to be. Right? And they want to make sure that they were in the forefront, in the vanguard, saying, well, we warned him to talk about policy, even though they know that's bullshit. He's not going to talk about policy. We warned him. We told him to focus on the suburban women, and he didn't do it. Even that's bullshit. He's not going to do that. He's not going to listen. They know that. They just want to be on record, right? Saying we were criticizing him, early on in his downfall. That's all it is. But that's all they got. So, and especially talking about two of the biggest losers in the Republican Party. These are the ones giving advice on how to win an election.